Hi, welcome back to Giant TV and Mommy Meltdown. I'm your host, Stephanie Mizzi. Today on the show, first of all, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads who are probably going to be watching today because some of their friends are on the show. We've done mom panels and they've been so well received, I thought we'd have to give the guys a chance. So we are having our first dad panel today, and I guess talking about what it's like to be part of the Fatherhood Club in 2019. So I want to welcome to the show some of our awesome dads. Hey, gentlemen. Hello. So we'll start over here. We'll talk with Will Theriault. And Will actually is a shop owner in St. Catharines, owns Will's Barbershop.
Yep, Barbara Will Barbershop.
Barbara Will Barbershop?
Barbara Will.
Oh, I've been saying it wrong all this time.
That's
just
okay.
go down and get a haircut.
As long as you know where it is and where to show up, well, all good.
It is all good.
If you can get in on a Saturday.
Yeah, don't forget about
Just saying.
Call ahead.
He's used to that line. He uses that a lot.
Call ahead.
Yeah.
Paul Damiano is here. Paul, I'm familiar with as well. It's my husband. So thank you for stopping in today, darling. Much appreciated.
Thank you for admitting it in public.
What a coincidence. It's my boyfriend.
Nice. Oh, I'm learning something new today. Excellent.
Interesting.
And a guy who might be familiar to you, as he joined us a couple of weeks ago, is Mark Cote. Mark's also a friend and somebody that I've met through the ADHD community. So thanks again for stopping in, Mark.
No problem. I love it.
I love having you
Yeah,
here.
it's fun.
We had a lot of fun the last time you were here.
I talk and talk and talk. It's perfect.
It is perfect. Actually, it's funny because when you were in, we talked a lot about fatherhood and being a dad. And, you know, originally I was just going to have you on as our Father's Day. And then we talked a little more about doing a dad panel. And I thought, yeah. And you were the one who mentioned Will and we mentioned Paul. And well, here we are.
I mean, Will and I have been talking about doing a podcast now for like a year.
Oh, at least. So
Yeah.
one day that'll come together.
Yeah, one day we'll get it together.
Well, I like that you're breaking your teeth here with me today. So this is kind of awesome.
Learning the ropes.
Learn the
Yeah.
ropes. We'll take it. You know, and the thing I like about having all of you here is that everyone's sort of at different levels, and fathers on different levels, I guess we can say, or you know, for different children. So, Will, you're a stepdad.
I should hope so. Different children.
This isn't the
I
direct.
got a question or two.
Well, Will is a stepdad. My husband Paul, we, of course, as you know, parent two boys who are difficult at times with their own special needs and mental health needs. And one thing that we didn't get into a whole lot with Mark on his podcast was that you have a child who's adopted.
Yeah.
So tell me about the challenges when it comes to fatherhood. Anybody want to go first?
Have at her, man.
Go ahead.
I talked about this already. It's your turn.
My turn. Patience.
Is it anything you thought it was going to be?
It's worse.
Stop.
No, it is. I mean that because, like, being someone who has ADHD myself and trying to bring up two boys with ADHD is difficult because, you know, they don't have any patience and neither do I. So, you know, it's...
This one here, the only one with the patience,
No,
which is not
that's not
usually
true.
always the case.
And I'm going to
Don't
disagree.
tell me no.
I've met you,
So you know,
Why you lying?
so when you ask if it's you know what I thought or easier or whatever, it's not. You know,
Nothing like you thought it was going to
nothing like I thought it was.
Really? Yeah. Will, what about you?
It's, some things are what I thought, but a lot, no.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get the childhood with her.
Right. So how old was she when you came, your daughter, I'm assuming? Yeah.
Daughter, Taylor. She was 12 when I met her.
Okay. So you're getting into the real thick of things by the time you
Yeah, so what a difficult part of that was we didn't have the bond as when she was growing up. We've created some of that since.
Yeah.
On the plus side, you missed all the diapers, the puke, the being peed on.
We figured
You missed all of the gross stuff.
we figured it recently. I've never changed a diaper.
Oh.
Which
Wow.
Makes me want to have a baby just to change
being
that.
on a mommy podcast, I don't know if I should say that.
I've never once changed a diaper ever. And every woman's heart breaks.
Yeah, I always like, when I was expecting to be a father, I thought, oh, I'll coach the sports team and I'll like watch Star Wars and just hang, be a little buddy, and you know.
And I'll do all the work. So
Well, my father actually cursed me when I was younger and said, I hope you have two just like you.
he did curse.
And I ended up with two
And
just
then,
like me.
then bingo. And then there you go.
So,
Has the journey through being a stepdad been challenging and rewarding as well? Like, did you think that you were going to have kids, or?
Of course, I always want kids.
Yeah.
Just never had them.
Yeah.
Whatever reason. It was great having her around. It's I don't know. It's been awesome.
It's been awesome.
I love having her around and talking to her. Now she's a little older. She's not around as much, and we do miss her.
Yeah.
Do miss not having her, seeing her every day.
That's
So are
all.
you empty nesters at this point?
No, she's 18, last year of high school, almost finished.
Nice.
University next year.
Okay.
She's still gonna live at home,
Okay.
but the boyfriend and friends, we just don't see her as often as
Right.
we used to.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling about
So
my
it's-
daughter too. Like my daughter's 12, and she's just like, she never wants to hang out with me. She's like too cool for dad, and I'm like, but I miss you so much. And she's
Yeah.
like, I don't care. I was like, oh, okay, that didn't hurt at all. I'm gonna go cry now. Like, no, it's tough as they get older. I'm finding like even my other son, he's like, Dad, you're not cool enough to hang with. Like, I'm sorry.
And how old are your kids, Mark?
12, 11, and Lucas is 7. Yeah, so yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see them nearly as much as I wish I could, and as much as I want to, because they're just far too cool, and nobody wants to hang out with their dad. And I mean, I don't blame them, because I'm not all that fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fun, but I'm not kid fun.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm more adult.
You are
Let's
adult
go
fun.
get drunk and fun. Like,
So I mean,
I'm
like,
that guy. like I'm the exact opposite of what parent is normally.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Like it's heartbreaking. Like it breaks your heart. You're like, oh, they're growing up so fast.
Yeah, and it's the 5 minutes in the morning. You're trying to get all the information. Here's what we need from you. Here's what you need from us. And,
Yes.
we need you to go do this or that, or what
Every
do you need?
conversations over text.
Yeah, lots of
Yes,
text.
right? Yeah. Well, that's a whole new element to parenting now. Is everything's done through texting, social media.
Being single for as long as I was single, never being left on red has hurt me so much as it does when my daughter does it. Like, I'd be like, I hope you had a good day at school today, baby. I love you. Read nothing. Like, no message back. I'm like, cool.
You're not going to respond.
right?
Did
Yeah,
you ever
no.
call her out on it?
No,
No.
I'm scared to. I mean, she's 12. She's going through stuff.
Right.
I don't want
You should
to.
don't wanna
change
rock
your,
the
you should
boat
change your
anymore.
name in her phone.
Yeah, to like one of her friends' names.
Like Chad.
If she'd let me anywhere near her phone, I probably would. But I'm pretty sure she's got a password on it. Because I'd be posting, like, I'd make the wallpaper a big picture of me.
Would. You would do
Like,
that.
and lock it. Yeah, I'm that guy.
Totally are.
I'm that guy.
I think that's awesome. We talked a little bit before we got the cameras rolling about how being a dad, how we grew up with dads was totally different than where I think guys are at right now with dads or as dads. Are you guys hands-on dads? I don't go there. Okay? I don't go there. I know. I don't mean hands-on. Like I tell the kids, no hands-on. But are you more involved with all aspects of the kids? Or is it used to be just that dads were, they were the disciplinarians, right? They're the ones that you go to that lay down the law.
With Luke, I'm very hands-on.
Yeah.
Because I'm his only parent.
Right.
So, for me, I'm involved with everything he does. His school, I make his lunches, I do his laundry, I make his bed, I clean his crappy diaper, underwear type stuff.
Yeah.
It's not ideal. I've been trying to,
Dad.
man, I've been trying to teach him how to wipe his ass for a year. How does he miss? Like, how do you miss, man?
Too.
Like, how? But no, I'm very hands-on in that aspect.
Yeah.
I think if I had a partner that I lived with and everything was, I could probably take a little bit back.
Yeah.
Not much, because I'm a little bit of a control freak that way. Like I need to know what's going on. But yeah, no. And with my other two, no. I mean, they've got their own stuff, and they live with their mom, and they got a stepdad, and you know, like their stepdad's really cool, and
Awesome.
like he's great to the kids. I respect the guy so much.
Oh, that's great.
And even though like my ex-wife and I, we're not the closest friends, and we don't really like each other. I shouldn't say we don't like each other. She doesn't like me. I'm indifferent. I shouldn't say we don't like each other. I'm indifferent. I mean, it's not that I don't like her. It's not that I do. But she's a great mom, and she's incredible with the kids, right? So for me, I'm very hands-on. That's with Lucas. Not so much Brooklyn and Jackson.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more independent and want their space and get away from me. Like it's.
I mean, it's funny that you would say that you thought you were just going to be the baseball coach and the, and the guy who watched the movies with the kids or whatever. Because Paul's the one in our house.
I do everything.
He
I know.
doesn't do everything. No. That's right.
I got 20. We could start a big
Right.
fight.
I mean, he's the one. When I used to work the morning show, he was the one who got the kids ready, to go to daycare, to go to school, and he still is the one who drops the kids off at school now. And he's more hands-on than maybe you thought you were going to be.
Well, I mean, growing up, when you think, one day I want to have kids, and you're like, I'm going to coach the baseball team, and I'm going to do this and do that, and it's just not that way, Like
If
you
it
said,
could be that way, would you want it to be that? Would you prefer it?
I don't know. I mean, I think things are different now too, right? Like it's, I don't know. Like it's just there's a lot of different aspects to it. Like you're like showing the kids how to do something, or or dealing with the fights where they. He's touching me, don't touch me. And I'm not, and you laugh, but that happened in the truck on the way to school today. And how? Because one's in the front, one's in the back. How are you touching each other?
Why are you looking at me?
My girlfriend's daughter, my son. Stop looking out my window.
Yeah.
It's a window, bro. It's glass. And you look in
And
and
it's
out.
my truck, so it's my window.
Like,
So,
stop looking out my window.
but so dealing with things like that. But my dad was a pretty good role model, and I remember watching your father and how he raised you, and trying to do the same thing with the boys, because it managed to keep me out of jail, right? Like, I mean, no, I'm not joking. My father what said to me when I was about 12, I used to get into a lot of fights at school and problems, and he took me aside when I was about 12, and he said, you're getting bigger, you're getting stronger, and you're going to hurt somebody one day, and you're going to go to jail. And when that happens, don't call me, because I'm not going to come. You can call the pizza guy, he'll come. I'm not coming. And my dad was the kind of guy where he said, if you do this is what's going to happen to you. And it happened every single time. So when he told me, you go to jail, don't call me, I'm not going to help you, why wouldn't you believe that? So and that's why I try to be like with the boys. If I say to the boys, like, you do this is going to happen, I do it every single time, and I know you don't like that. But it's to the point now where 11 years and 9 years later for the two boys, if I say something, they know they can take that to the bank. Because if I say I'm going to take away your video games, I do, and so much to the point where I know that Steph will cave when I'm at work, and if I take away the video game, she'll say play while, but he's coming home. So I take.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
I take the controllers to work and put them at my desk for a week.
Brutal.
So
Brutal.
Ingenious, you mean?
No.
Brilliant.
thank you.
I got you, bro. I'm a warden at home, so I get it.
Yeah,
I
right.
get it.
So, but bringing up boys is different than bringing up girls too, right?
Do you think your parenting would have been different if we had girls?
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it would just be girls are different. Yeah, boys, like especially with our boys, you can't let them have an inch. And you have a different parenting style than I do. Like Stephanie will draw a line, and then they'll cross it, and she'll step back and draw another line. Whereas I draw a line and step forward. So and it's we have two different stances, and I really think that's because of the way I was brought up with my father, who was brought up the old school Italian way, and that's the way I was brought up, and so
And I was not.
yeah.
Now,
so
Bill, when you came into all of this, were you intending on saying, okay, well, I'm a stepdad and she's 12, and I'm going to just get to know her on a new level, or did you fall right in line to how you would have if you had been with her for the first 12 years?
Well, I moved in pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it was almost thrust on us to you need to build a relationship.
Okay.
And just I don't know, just things driving her to school, picking her up,
all that stuff
little
too.
times to talk, just the two of us. I don't know if she enjoyed any of it, but
She's still living there. I think
Yeah.
you've done okay.
Yeah,
She loves
so far.
it.
but yeah, like you said, I always thought I'd have a boy
Yeah.
being the coach and
Sure.
teaching them things. So now it's it's a girl, so it's a little different. It's not being a coach.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get her to wash the car, but she won't.
So you do a fine
trying to
job
get her to
at
do
that.
some of the boy stuff still,
Yeah.
but it doesn't happen because she's a girl.
It's I find that I am far easier on my daughter than my boys. I'm hard on the
I can
boys.
see that.
I expect a lot from them. Like I grew up, I didn't have a dad. I mean, so for me, it was always my mom. And my mom is my rock. She's my best friend.
Yeah.
But we talk like we're best friends now that I'm an adult. Like it's so my dad was never around, and I grew up in a very strict family as far as my grandfather, my uncles. Like I'll fight any man, and I mean I can fight.
Yeah.
And my uncle, I wouldn't even look at him wrong because he'd beat the piss out of me.
Oh,
he
yeah?
wouldn't even think twice. And I mean, he's like I'm scared to death of the man.
To this day.
To this day, to this day. And I'm fairly strict. Like I'm harder on my boys. I expect more from my boys. Like it's yes and no, and it's not. And I think I sometimes have unrealistic expectations of what they do. Like they're gonna do stupid stuff because they're kids, and that's what stupid kids do. They do stupid things.
I think that's easy for guys to get into that trap, though. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
I am way overanalyzing that. But I think that can be. I think that it's just natural that you just kind of expect.
But it's the not listening. Like with our two, I hate it when they do this. It absolutely. Like I seriously, my father passed away early in March, and I'm sure he because he laughed even when he was alive. I'd be leaving with their house with the boys, and they'd be giving us a hard time. He'd be laughing as we were leaving. Okay, call me later, and he'd be laughing like this is what I But I'm sure he's watching even now, and just like
Still laughing.
because like they do like they just it drives me nuts. And you know this. They'll be on the couch. It'll be bedtime, and you'll say, "Okay, guys, it's bedtime." Yeah, okay, we're going, and they're sitting there still. And I'm like, okay, if you were going, you'd say, "Okay, I'm going," as you're getting up and moving your feet towards your bedroom.
Yeah.
Right, but not laying there and kicking at your other your brother, like
how
like
far.
you're not going.
Yeah.
So then you say, "Guys, now," and they say, "Yeah, we're going." I'm like, "You're not though. You're just laying on the couch."
Like, is this a new movement? Like
It
how
just-
are you
it
gonna
just-
will yourself
Or you
there?
ask them something and they don't answer. So then you raise your voice a little bit and you ask again. They don't answer. Now you're yelling, and I got my wife going, "Don't yell at them," and I go, "Well, they're not." I asked them 3 times properly,
Apparently, sweetheart, our kids are deaf.
but
They need hearing aids.
Then they go, "Well, I answered you. You didn't hear me. You didn't look up from your tablet. What do you mean you answered me?"
Like
And,
I want clear and concise, man.
like,
Well, in that, with that conversation going, I mean, we talk about discipline all the time in our home because we just mentioned this. When we were coming up, and most of the time anyway, it was your dad that disciplined you. In your case, it was your mom.
My mom, yeah.
or your uncle.
Or your uncle, even. You still had little figures in the house. So
Uncle's discipline was bad.
I was just going to say, I remember having pretty serious discipline now, but I find today we have to be way more creative when it comes to discipline. And that's not my strong point. I have to say, like, Paul's really good with the discipline. And sometimes he's too strict with it. But there is one time, I don't know if you remember this. I'm pretty sure you do. But the one time I remember the discipline was the best with James, when he got really lippy. Do you remember when with the
Yeah,
hockey?
we took away his hockey. So he was playing AA hockey at the time. And he was the only goalie on the team. And he was getting mouthy. And I said, like, look, if you don't stop, I'm going to call your coach and tell him to bench you tonight. Well, you can't do that. So I picked up the phone and I did it.
Yeah.
And
But it worked. It worked great.
then we made him go to the game. We made him get dressed. And we made him sit on the bench and watch for the whole game.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
We did. See, I forgot all of that. I was so traumatized.
That is pretty
by not doing
creative.
it.
See you for some creative ideas.
Well, I was just going to say, what do you think has been your best form of discipline?
Natural consequences.
Oh, okay.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Luke is stubborn and ignorant sometimes, and he'll do things, and then he'll fall and hurt himself, and I laugh my ass off. Like, I think it's great. I can watch kids falling all day. I don't care. Like, it's great.
You can on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure I can make a YouTube channel and be a millionaire. But no, I find that the natural consequences. I find that sending him to his room or giving him timeouts don't really work because he really doesn't give a shit. He really doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I find when he's doing something, he falls and he's like, boom, and he like
Shakes him out of the bad behavior.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, and he'll throw a fit, and I'll laugh, and I mean, I don't laugh in front of him because it just makes it trigger worse.
Yeah.
But I'll laugh and laugh and laugh as soon as he's got his back turned because it's hilarious. But no, I find that's honestly the best that and he's young. I mean, it's hard at 7 when you got a kid that's developmentally delayed. That like, how do you punish him and make it make sense to him?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he
things
just,
that you don't, he doesn't.
I find the biggest thing is they need to understand the consequence, and they need to understand why the consequence is happening. And I find that's the biggest obstacle with Lucas is explaining it to him because he just can't grasp it.
Yes.
So if I'm telling him this is what you did, and he's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, what do you mean, Dad? Like, no, I didn't do that, because he thinks in his head he's done something different or it means something different.
Right.
So it's next to impossible to really give him a good punishment, right? Like, I can send him to his room, he doesn't care. He'll go to his room and be like, fine, I'm going to my room, fine.
It's got all his toys in there. What's he care?
That's the problem a lot of times, right? It's funny because, and I'll direct this at you, Will. I was talking with Joe, who you just met earlier, and he's got a teenager. And he was saying his best form of discipline is walking away from her and just letting her have her, meltdown or whatever that she's having, and then let her come to him.
So because you came into your daughter's life when she was sort of on the cusp of becoming a teenager, is that something that you would do? Did you see some really good meltdowns that you thought, how do we deal with this?
She doesn't melt down. She doesn't melt down in front of us anyway.
Okay. Which can be a little trickier too.
Yeah, she's a pretty strong kid. Okay. She might come out and say, I want to talk to mom, or usually mom.
Yeah.
About whatever's bothering her.
Yeah.
She doesn't melt down much.
If you had to do discipline with her, would you talk with your wife about it and then both together discipline her, or let her try?
I think I would like to be more strict.
Yeah.
And I think would be the stricter one of the two, but the wife's always, maybe not as bad, not as, you don't need to do all that. Don't need to say that. Or whatever.
I can appreciate that.
But like my parents, I don't think my parents were really strict, but my dad was, he was a yeller at least. Yeah. So.
And I think most of us remember that. Yeah, I remember my dad was a yeller too.
Yeah, you knew when you were wrong at our house, but.
Sorry, so sorry, Mark. I keep digging the wound a little bit.
Just rip that scab off.
My mom would yell too.
My mom didn't even yell at me once. I remember a story, and this is funny. So I remember I was probably about 14. It's the first time I ever got into a real yelling match with my mom, and I thought I was a tough kid. And I was about to tell her to, and I got "fuh" out of my mouth, and boom, I got cracked.
Way.
And I hit the ground quick. And I mean, I boxed for a few years by then, so I knew what it was like to get punched. But I tell you, I've never told my mom that since. I was like, Mom, you pack a hook. Like, Mama don't play.
You were impressed with that.
Like she hit like a man. Like I was like, oh my God, that hurt.
Oh my God.
I felt so bad. I started bawling my eyes out. She called me a wimp. Like she's like, stop crying, you wimp. And I'm like, all right, Mom, I'm sorry. Like, don't hit me in the face. No, my mom, yeah. Like, it's weird. Like, I can remember, like, I was a hellion, man. I used to get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I was not a good kid. I'm not even that good an adult. Like,
Well, I was going to say, that's why you kind of maybe come at it from a different perspective as a parent now.
yeah.
You remember those times.
Yeah, I mean, Luke doesn't give me those kind of difficult times.
Yeah.
So I kind of luck out. And Brooklyn and Jackson, they definitely don't.
Awesome.
They're like, honestly, and I don't, I always hate when parents say, like, oh, my kids are perfect. My kids are actually perfect.
Yeah.
Like, they pull great grades. They don't get in trouble. They fight amongst themselves, but what brother and sister don't?
Yeah.
They get along. They're there for each other. Jackson was getting bullied a little bit. Brooklyn put the boots to a kid at school. Like,
That's our Matthew.
Like after her grandmother.
right? But yeah, like, definitely not her mom. Like, but yeah, no, it's they're genuinely good kids. I lucked out. I
awesome.
definitely lucked out with those two. I'm getting everything back a million times with Luke. Like, and even still, it's different. It's not like he's got behaviors that's part of his disability and that's part of who he is. But it's not like I was just a dick.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have ADHD. I didn't have it. I was just a dick. Like that was it. And Luke, he's got issues. So I'm working on being more understanding because apparently I'm not so understanding. But I'm working on it, and it seems to be working okay, I guess. I mean, he's not dead yet.
That's a tough realization, though. Like, as when you have a set idea in your head as to who you should be as a father, and then it's brought to your attention that maybe that needs a little bit of tweaking. I commend you for changing that, because that can be difficult.
It's other people that tell me, and then I think about it, and like, I've heard the story. I wish you could hear how you talk to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I thought about it. I was like, is it really that bad? Like, do I need this? Like, and then I was like, yeah, no. If it's like that's two people said it now, I better stop.
Somebody's saying something.
Like that's two people. Like even my mom, and my mom's like, but it's hilarious because my mom was like the warden with me, and she's an absolute Stay Puft Marshmallow with him, and I'm like, there's no balance, Mom. You need to bring you back. And she's like, no, he's my grandson. I get to do whatever I want.
Spoil him.
I have to tell you, it's funny because I was talking with one of my coworkers today that I work at the country station with, and I said, what's the one thing you wish that people knew about dads? And he's a divorced dad. And he said, I wish people knew that not all divorced dads are, deadbeat and lazy and don't know how to take care of their kids, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah.
Because that's not the immediate first thought that I have when I think of divorced dads.
A lot of people do that.
I see a lot of good dads.
A lot.
Especially in the shop, right?
Being with the barbershop. I mean,
Yes.
these two guys both bring their kids in. I don't know if you brought your kid in.
Yeah,
maybe once or
biotin
twice.
Deficiency.
Yeah.
He gets his hair cut like once a year.
Yeah. But anyway, these guys and many others, they bring their sons in. The mothers don't come, or they wait outside, or whatever.
I think it's cool.
And you see them interact, and it's probably different from what they're at home because it's not the father-son thing. Mm-hmm. The barbershop brings up a buddy aspect to their relationship.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that you would have the chance to see that different interaction.
Yeah, and I'm talking to the kid, trying to relate to them, asking about sports or whatever he's into, and and the father's chipping in, and they're just buddies when they're there, which is cool.
I think that's probably one of the most important aspects of a barbershop, period. And I think that's a huge aspect, is being a father and taking your kid to a barbershop. Yeah. Barbershops are made for men. And no offense to hairstylists and whatever, barbers are for men.
Yeah.
And I think at the barbershop, you get to be a man. You get to
definitely.
do man things. You get
Yeah.
to, and it's part of teaching your sons about
to be.
being a man,
Yes.
how to groom themselves, how to take care of themselves. It's how to interact with different people. I think it's a really important part of culture to be able to do that. And like, I took Luke. I've taken him a few times to Will's, but like I said, he gets his haircut once a year, like because his hair just doesn't grow.
Yeah.
Like, so I won't take him anywhere else. And he always goes, well, every time I go, he's like, I'm coming, right? Like,
Because he likes it.
Yeah, he loves it,
Yeah.
but I usually go on Saturdays when he's gone for a couple hours, and so I can go and be a man for a little bit,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've watched me. I'm not the same person
No.
when I'm with my kid.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not.
Thank
like,
the Lord.
Like, I'm in dad mode, right? Like,
Yes,
and when I'm not, I'm in beardo mode. I'm a comic, and I'm talking sauce, and I'm just, I'm being funny and
Yeah.
being goofy. That's who I am when I'm not being a dad.
Yeah.
I think we all as dads have different personalities. I think who we are with our children and who we are outside of that. And I think a lot of that we lose a bit of who we are because of having the responsibility of being a parent. Like, and I think that goes for moms and dads.
Yes.
I think moms don't get nearly enough credit for all the stuff that they do. And I think
Think of the day. Think of Mother's Day.
yeah, but I mean, but realistically, think about
named after them.
like, but so do we.
You do.
Like, but you think about it, like moms really don't get the same, like I don't know how to say it.
Athletes always say, "Hi, Mom." It was the dad who taught him to throw the curveball,
Yeah.
right, or to take
Yeah.
the hit, or to but it's,
Like,
"Hi, Mom."
like I think parents in general lose a part of themselves, and it's just a sad
It's the way
reality.
you know what though, but when you become a parent, and it's true in nature as it is in humanity, you give up your own wants and needs for your children,
Yep.
right? Like animals will go out, hunt, feed the kids, and eat what's left, and that's kind of like the same thing. Like I would love to go away with Stephanie and go on a trip somewhere, but you know what? We gotta go bloody Disney before we do anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So, which is okay now that they have the Star Wars exhibit coming. So,
Yes.
but
It really
But
is.
yeah, like I think it's incredible, like that how much we lose that little bit of ourselves being a parent.
So
Well,
what would
you stop
tell-
doing all the stupid things.
Yes.
Yeah, like I can't throw back beers on a Tuesday night with my buddies after baseball. Or I can't, man, I'm sorry, man. I got to get home to my kid. I can't do the same thing. And you it hurts a bit. Like,
Well, I was just going to
and
say.
to your point, like I gave up playing baseball so I could coach my kids baseball,
yes.
right? Because I'm the type of person where if I'm playing for a team, I'm there every game,
Yeah.
right? Or if I'm coaching my kids' team, you got to be there every game. So if by chance there should be a conflict, it's not fair to one or the other, right? So I stopped playing baseball like 10 years ago, So
And I think that's what makes guys a little bit nervous about becoming fathers. That it's not something I think women think of right away. And then when it happens and you realize that you do lose a little bit of that identity, it can be sad. But guys think of it right away. I think anyway. Guys think of it right away. So if I got a guy listening and maybe he's going to be a new father,
Fear of loss.
fear of loss.
I don't
And
know.
that's-
For me, it wasn't that. I wasn't afraid to lose, like going out for drinks and chicken wings with my buddies. It was a fair trade in my eyes. The night that James was born, my oldest, I remember standing in the hallway of the hospital with my father, and he said, "Your life is going to change forever now." And you got to be ready for that. And I said, "I am." He goes, "No, you think you are, but you have no idea.
got no
but you're going to
Maybe
know.
close
But you're
to
gonna.
ready."
But what he said was, and it was the truest words you've ever heard when you're thinking about being a father. From this moment on, you're always going to worry, whether you're awake or asleep, whether your child's a year old or 100 years old. As long as you're alive, you're going to worry about that person, and it's the truth.
Yep.
Anything that happens, he's up to bat and he's got a full count and bases loaded. It's the end of the game. God, please let him hit the ball because I don't want him to be disappointed and come away feeling like he lost the game or you know, he's got a big test. Like, you know, hopefully he just passes it. You know, like whatever, right? But you always want like that whatever's best for him, right?
Yeah. I think too, on the flip side of that, it's when they fail, you fail with them. When they win, you win with them.
True.
And I think that's part of the best parts. Like I mean, I watched Luke catch his first baseball the other day, and I mean, I'm a huge ball. Like, I love baseball. And we were playing catch, and he hit the ball, and he caught it, and I was like, yeah, like, I taught him how to do that. But I also was like, when he was getting mad because he just wanted to hit the ball, and the ball hit him in the face because he wouldn't catch it, I laughed, because I was like, I taught him to do that. Like it was great, because I'm like, you're not paying attention, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like, but you win, you live and die with your kids. It's when they win, you win.
Yeah.
When you lose, they lose. It's,
teaching her to drive was tricky.
Right?
Weaving all over the lane. We went to the mall to go between the parking spots and
Holding on for dear life.
trying to keep the car straight and get the right speed. And then when she passed her test, took the road test and got her license, it was great.
And you haven't seen your car since?
You know what? I had to wait for her to come home from school so I could drive out here because I don't get a car anymore.
What was it like for you for dating?
Yes.
For dating mom?
Like, no. Like with
she started
your,
dating.
with your
When
daughter
she started dating.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. Right?
Good for
So
him.
I've had guns for many, many years, and I've got one that's a 9mm bullet, and I can't wait for her to bring home her first boyfriend.
You were
I'm going to toss it to him, and I'm going to tell him it moves a lot faster after 9.
You're horrible.
Yeah, when she brought the boyfriend around the first time, when I heard she was going out, I did not have a good reaction. It's been a year and a half with the same kid, and he's a good kid.
Nice.
Hopefully he doesn't hear this.
By
By the way, we all hate you. You're a good kid. We hate you.
By the way, there is a bounty on you. Everyone gets free haircuts for a year if they find you.
No, he's a good kid. It's taken me a long time to get to like him, and he still doesn't come to the house very often because he thinks I don't like him. But I'm trying to be nice to him.
I think that's every dad, though.
It's hard.
Like, I don't like anybody, so I'm definitely not going to like my daughter's boyfriend.
No, like nobody's going to be good enough for her.
I'm like,
I think that's a dad.
You'll be 14, you got a job.
Yeah.
You got a job? Can you provide for her? Like, I'll be asking ridiculous questions. Well, I'm only in 4. Well, I don't care. You got a job? You got a car? No?
Yeah.
You live on your own? No? Okay.
Move on.
Like, get out of here. Like, beat it.
Yeah, it was tough. But
It's a tough game. It's tough to find your footing. It's tough to keep. I think it's tougher to keep your footing. I think that, coming into being a parent is never an easy thing, and you're throwing this kid, whether it's a new baby or it's a 12-year-old, and you just gotta, hopefully find your way in and around it, and I think it just kind of continues like that. But you guys raised some great points today, and I think that we learned a little bit as well, so I thank you so much for joining us today, to Will and Paul and Mark.
Thanks for having me again. I mean, I love it. I mean,
I love it too. I love having you.
It's so much fun.
I feel like this could be a mommy meltdown. We'll have 2 sides of it. Maybe.
I think I really think we got to do this. Like, we got to put something together.
definitely
we
want
gotta.
Look at this! I just started a whole new thing. I can't believe it. This
We
is
could
awesome.
do like a whole dad thing.
we do a dad
we could
thing.
do a whole dad thing. Look
Like
at
I
this.
mean,
I
where
got
I
a
can
little
cuss.
competition now.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you once again, gentlemen. Much appreciated. We will put your handles for social media, if you'd like, over at our underneath the description of this video. And thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, you can freak out. You just can't stress out because you had a mommy meltdown. Until next time.